Flying V! I love when they do the V. Oh, man.
What a boring game with an amazing finish. Like, every period that went by in this game, it got so much better. What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back to another recap reaction for Game 6 of the 82 season 2021-22 season for the Winnipeg Jets, where they win this game by a score of 4-3 against the Anaheim Ducks. They get revenge after losing their first game of the season to Anaheim in the Honda Center. They come back and win tonight, and what a weird game. Because the way the first period was, I was like, okay, I think we're going to see like a 2-1, maybe like one empty netter, slow grinder type game. I didn't think there was going to be a lot of offense, and everything really just felt, boring in a way. Like, the first period, nothing really happened. A few good bounces for each team. The Jets were obviously outshot for a majority of this game, if not entirely, I believe. They ended up being just up by 10 shots, 35-25 at the end of the game, and so they were outshot for basically the whole thing. And you definitely saw that as a trend throughout the game. But in that first especially, yeah, they were being outshot, but both goalies really had to stand on their heads a couple of times and really keep that 0-0 score. And I think Hellebuyck and Mason had pretty good games tonight. Like, I kind of feel like Mason got let down by his team a little bit. Obviously, we'll get into that end where they scored 2 goals in 19 seconds to win the game by Nikolaj Ehlers there, obviously, and that was a little bit on him, but not really, kind of just a collapse all around. But I think that both goaltenders tonight had really, really good games. I wouldn't really put any bad goals on Connor Hellebuyck. He was kind of left out there to dry even on a couple of them. So I thought the goaltenders really stood on their head tonight, and I always love seeing a good goaltender matchup. You guys know that. And Connor Hellebuyck having a very good performance is something that I also love to see. But either way, getting through that first period, Beaulieu played a forward shift. I had to write that down. I thought that was hilarious. The whole bench was going crazy and screaming, and then I'm like, who the hell? Oh my god, no, they didn't. I thought it was going to be a constant, but whatever, I don't care. The guy's been playing really good hockey, and he deserves to look up there. We're running short forwards and different lines anyway. I really didn't care if he was playing one shift or two even up there, because, yeah, you might, if they got scored on, well, shit, Beaulieu was out there, not good, but they didn't. The guy deserves some fun, and even though I like to be really critical of Beaulieu, like I've said in the past, I think he's a great depth player, just not a guy you use as a number 2 or 3, so I think that him as depth like this has been really good, and I think it's showing off his role, and hell, I even think that he has some trade value right now. I really think he does for a team trying to win, even though the Jets are trying to win. He has value, even at that cap hit. I think that there would be some team willing to acquire him for a limited role in blocking shots in the penalty kill and stuff like that. I think he has some value, starting to show that in the right situation, Nathan Beaulieu is still a good NHL defender. So, him in the top 4, yikes, but him in a lower increased role, playing, 8 to 10 minutes of ice time a game, I think it's great. So, credit to Nathan Beaulieu for being pretty good coming in since the Wheeler and Scheifele COVID stuff at the start of the season. But getting through that, obviously, there wasn't really anything that happened. DeMello got shaken up at the end of that first period, but he was the first guy that showed on the bench starting the second, and that's where things get a little bit more interesting. Svechnikov with a beautiful snipe from that line, again connecting. I don't know how many points they have in the last 3 games of playing together, but every single one of them has scored, and I know that Svech has 3 points in 3 games, so top 6 Svech, I think we're going to see it this year, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful setup by that line. That line, in my opinion, has to stay together. I really think you could roll out 3 equal scoring lines somehow by finding some other guy to play up there on the top line. Because think about the lines right now, and then you're going to add talent in Blake Wheeler and Scheifele. Obviously, if they're used properly, this team could be amazing offensively. It just depends on how Paul Maurice is going to find that balance of what we have right now working and how he wants to implement Scheifele and Connor. But I think that line is playing great, and all the lines are playing great. Ehlers has been a little snake-bitten the last couple of games. I see a lot of people ripping on him a little bit, and personally, I don't understand why. Yeah, he's not scoring goals, and you obviously want Nikolaj Ehlers to score goals, but when you look at all of his advanced stats and his offensive analytics, he's been getting good looks. He's just been really bad luck at getting the puck in there. And so him to get those 2 goals tonight was really good, and I really like that second line. Kopp is still on a tear. Andrew Kopp had 3 points tonight as well as Nikolaj Ehlers playing on that line together. That's really, really good and important to see. And I think that that's a really good start for Andrew Kopp. Obviously, Stasty's been looking good. The top 6, in my opinion, has been really polished since those 2 guys going out, which is ironic because you wouldn't expect it to be as polished as it is with Scheifele and Wheeler going out, because although Wheeler does slow down that top line, he's still an amazing forward to have for your team, right? So losing great forward depth and to be this polished, I think it's a very good sign of what things can come, as long as we find a way to play better defense, because we really gave a lot of shots and good opportunities and turned the puck over a ton tonight. That was the negative. Again, the penalty kill, turning over pucks, and although the defensemen on the Jets are jumping into play more, and that's great, they are not necessarily making an impact defensively, if that makes any sense. Their defensive presence is felt in the offensive end of the ice. They definitely have more offense out of the back end, but they still need to work on sharpening their defensive tools and IQ and their chemistry defensively. It's very off. Like, a lot of bad turnovers, and I don't really blame anyone in particular. It's just they got to be a little bit more cohesive as an entire team with defensive play. You know, there's been a problem the entirety of the Winnipeg Jets since coming back, and they will get better at it. I firmly believe that. They just got to really find that good balance of, you know, good energetic hockey with good forward and defensive equilibrium of all those guys playing together, but also playing that defense, right? You got to get that yin-yang going, and I really think they'll find it because our defense is good. The problem is when, and that's going to be the real big thing. But they'll find it eventually. I know they will. The other thing that I think would be really crucial for the Jets, obviously getting better, is not blowing the lead. You know, like, we had that blew the lead against bad bounces and stuff like that, and that's kind of what happened tonight. Bad turnovers, bad bounces, and all that stuff. They blew the lead tonight, and you're going through a pretty, you know, equal game for most parts. Obviously, you're being outshot, but you're getting good goaltending and good offensive looks at times against another good goaltender. But what the Anaheim Ducks did exceptionally well tonight was capitalize off of mistakes and turnovers and giveaways, and that's how you win hockey games in the NHL and any level of hockey, is by playing good defensive hockey, forcing plays, and capitalizing off of them, and that's what they did tonight. Like, all their goals, all three of their goals were really, you know, other than the one where the first goal, or I believe it was the first goal, that was screened with Hellebuyck in that third period, or that was the second goal either way. But when they scored that second goal in the third period, but Manson, that was a really bad goal because it was screen, right? Like, not a bad goal in Hellebuyck, but he had a lot of screens, a lot of buys. You can't do much there. But other than that, Sonny Milano, all these other goals were turnover goals, right? And they got to be better at, you know, keeping the Jets have to be better at getting those turnovers limited, but the Ducks did a really good job in capitalizing from them. So, you know, they're a young team that's hungry to win games, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that aggressive play for them as the season progresses. But back to the Jets side of things, you get into that third period, and holy crap, it was magical. Let me just pull down my notes real quick. I can't read them all, but either way, getting back on topic. You had a really magical third period because you got Manson coming in and scores that goal, and they're like, okay, well, now what? Then Kopp comes in with a beautiful tic-tac-toe from that second line. Ehlers, Stastny, an amazing effort to get that puck to Stastny by Ehlers, and Andrew Kopp roofs it. Another goal. Andrew Kopp's been on fire. He's got, like I said, 3 points tonight. He's got 4 goals to start the season already. You know, if we lose Andrew Kopp, I'm going to miss the guy for sure, but I really applaud the fact that he stayed in Winnipeg. You know, he took that contract because I guarantee you he could have found somewhere else to go, but he took a 1-year deal with Winnipeg, and, you know, even if he leaves, he's here now, and thank God he is. I think it's the smart thing to do by the management, and hopefully we will, you know, be able to see more of him scoring goals, because even if he leaves, let's have him as his best career year here as a Jet, you know, which is awesome, because Kopp's been our boy since being drafted, so you'd love to see it. But either way, he gets that goal, and then you have Zegras come in, right? That bad turnover goal. What do? You're down, right? You need your team to step up. You need your leaders to step up. A guy that's been struggling to score goals, Nikolaj Ehlers, 2 goals, 19 seconds apart. The Jets are up 4-2. And from that moment, I was like, holy crap. Like, that's what Ehlers needed to go, right? You're a snake bitten forward with that much skill. You have all these offensive looks. You're still reading the puck well. You're shooting the puck well. You're doing everything you need to do to score goals, but you're not getting that luck. And then you score 2 goals in 19 seconds to win the game for your team. That is huge, especially with your 2 big leaders down. I really love what I've seen from Nikolaj Ehlers lately. And although this was a really boring, empty game, stadium was empty tonight, I gotta say, I liked this game for the Jets. Yeah, it was sloppy at times, but what we saw at the start going into these first couple of games, those 3 games where we lost at the start of the season, how the play was with everything, this is a more polished team. Do they still have problems? Absolutely. And do I still have concerns about coaching and the style of play that we will see as the season progresses? I do. But we'll get to those points when we get there. Right now, we have to look at this team and be like, okay, they're winning games, they're climbing up, Hellebuyck is having better performances each game, which is important. The offense is getting really sharp. You get a guy like Svechnikov, who I keep saying could be one of the best signings of the entirety of the NHL last season on a league minimum deal, who's already got 3 points in 3 games playing that top 6. If him and PLD can keep that chemistry going, the value you're going to get out of Svechnikov will be unmatched to almost anyone else in the NHL, and I firmly believe that. So you've got so much options and optimism for this team right now. And with Scheifele and Connor Wheeler coming back, you've got that extra wild card of how will it all work and will we be able to make it work? That'll be the big question coming up, because the Jets right now, without those guys, are winning, but when they come back and they can continue to find a way to win with all the new lines being shuffled up, that'll be the big test for the Jets coming up. But either way, their next game, I believe, is against the San Jose Sharks, which I believe is on Friday, so we'll be covering that. Very happy with the performance. It could be been better defensively, but they won because the big guy stepped up tonight, and that's exactly what you need in a hockey game when you're down your leaders. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. As always, it's late, but either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the games as always. Make sure to subscribe regardless of the team that you root for. Drop a like. Also, check out any of my newest videos regarding all the situations with Kevin Cheveldayoff. We don't want to talk about it here. I didn't talk about it here, so if you're wondering why, I have a video on it, which will pop up right now in that top right, so you can go check that out. Have a great rest of your night. Peace, love, and positivity, and go Jets, go.